She betrayed me with multiple men and my marriage collapsed in under a year. 7 months later, I'm 40 pounds down, in therapy, and rebuilding my life from scratch. I've been married for less than a year. We're both in our mid-20s. Things have generally been good until this. For Christmas, my wife got concert tickets to see her favorite band. Naturally, I assumed I'd be going with her. I was wrong. She told me she wanted to take a coworker because he's a huge fan of the band. She also said he was gay, which I think was meant to reassure me. I was upset, but I didn't want to start a fight over it, so I let it go. She went to the concert with him. After the show, they waited outside near the tour bus. Apparently, the bassist came out and started talking to her. She admits she flirted a little. He asked if she was coming to their New Year's Eve show, which was 200 miles away. She said she couldn't afford it. He offered to put her on the guest list. She said she wouldn't go alone. He said she could bring her friend. Just like that, our New Year's Eve plans were basically off the table. There was no way I could go. She had previously joked that she might have to do something extra to get VIP access. I didn't find it funny at the time, and she brushed it off as a joke. In the end, this is her favorite band. I didn't want this to become something she'd resent me for later, so I told her the decision was hers. She decided to go. Now she says she's only 80% sure the coworker is gay. On the drive there, she texted me. When she got the tickets, she texted me. After that, silence. I sent her a message at midnight. She replied with 3 words. That was it. The next morning at 11:30, I called her. She said she was waiting at a subway station to head back to her hotel. She eventually got home around 4:30 that afternoon. I asked how the night went. She said they partied all night, drank a lot, and she took prescription medication. She complained that she paid for a hotel but only slept there for 2 hours. That didn't add up. If she was at the subway at 11:30 a.m., how did she only sleep 2 hours? Eventually, she admitted she never actually used the hotel room and must have slept in the band's suite. She says she doesn't remember clearly because of a hangover. A day or 2 later, I noticed something else. She had groomed herself before the trip. That's not something she typically does unless it's meant as a special gesture in our relationship. After she left for work, I checked her overnight bag and found a brand new pack of feminine hygiene wipes. She has never brought something like that on trips before. It just felt intentional. Now I'm sitting here trying to piece everything together. The coworker she was 80% sure about. The all-night partying. The unexplained sleeping arrangements. The grooming before the trip. The wipes. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I also feel like I'd be naive not to question what happened. I sat my wife down last night because I couldn't keep replaying everything in my head. I needed clarity. I asked her to walk me through New Year's Eve step by step. She said their tickets were waiting at will call, and they were able to stand in the VIP section during the concert. The bar was open until about 2 a.m., and after that they were invited up to the band's suite. She told me the hotel gave her complimentary pajamas, so she changed out of her dress before going upstairs. According to her, it was a large party. The bassist, the guitarist, a musician from the opening act, and members of the road crew were all there. She said her coworker stayed close to her all night, almost too close, and that it actually annoyed her. She claimed she eventually fell asleep on the living room floor along with about a dozen other people. Around 11 a.m., her coworker woke her up and they went to the subway. That's her version. Then I asked about the grooming before the trip. She said she didn't know why she did it. Her explanation was, what if I ended up going swimming? I asked if she packed a swimsuit. She said no. For context, my wife doesn't swim. Pools aren't exactly her thing. We've used hot tubs before, but even then, I wouldn't have been comfortable with her in that kind of setting with strangers. Then I asked about the feminine cleansing wipes I found in her bag. She admitted they were for odor control, but said she bought them during a Walmart trip we took the day after Christmas, before she knew about the New Year's plans. She said she never opened them. When I checked the package again later, it did appear unopened. At that point, I asked her to look me in the eyes and swear there was no kissing, no cuddling, and no physical contact of any kind. She looked straight at me and repeated those exact words back. I also told her how hurt I'd been through all of this. I told her that if she has tickets to something and I want to go, I should come first. That's part of being married. And if she isn't ready to make that choice, then maybe she wasn't ready for marriage. She didn't take that well. The conversation turned into a lot of you always and I never. The most painful thing she said was that if I had gone on New Year's Eve, she thinks she wouldn't have had as much fun. That one sentence hit hard. To me, that feels like a fundamental issue. If your spouse's presence lowers your enjoyment of a once-in-a-lifetime night, what does that say about the relationship? When I told her that made me question things, she said I was being ridiculous. Now I'm right back where I started. I don't know if she was unfaithful. It's possible she lied. It's also possible that nothing happened. I have no proof either way. And she's acting completely normal at home, like none of this ever happened. So now I'm stuck with the same question. Is this my intuition telling me something is wrong, or is this insecurity slowly damaging my marriage? Just when I thought things couldn't get more complicated, they did. Last week, the bassist texted my wife again. He invited her to another concert, this time in a city 100 miles away, on a weeknight. She wanted to go. Alone. I calmly brought up New Year's Eve and how unresolved everything still felt for me. Instead of talking it through, she shut down. She gave me the silent treatment for 3 days. That alone told me something wasn't right. That weekend, I went out of town for a business trip. I checked in with her daily. When I got back, we spent Valentine's Day together like everything was fine. Then yesterday happened. I was on my computer browsing Reddit when I noticed I had a notification. I clicked it, only to realize my wife was still logged into her account on my computer. I knew she posted content on certain adult subreddits. We had talked about it before, and I supported it under clear boundaries. What I didn't know was that she had been privately messaging other men and sending them photos. I kept reading. One message stopped me cold. Someone had asked her, "What's the wildest thing you've ever done?" Her response: "On New Year's Eve, I had my first threesome with a member of a famous 90s rock band and a friend." My heart dropped. The first thing I did wasn't scream. It wasn't an argument. I called a lawyer to understand my options. Then I confronted her. She claimed it was only half true. She said she exaggerated the story online. According to her, her coworker really was gay, and she and the bassist only kissed and engaged in intimate activity, but didn't go all the way. That's when I walked out of the apartment and went straight to the hospital to get tested. I couldn't ignore the risk. Hours later, I came back, still not believing her. I told her to send a simple text message to him. Did we sleep together? I said that if he responded no, I would believe her. She hesitated. Then she admitted the truth. They did. In that moment, everything collapsed. We've been married for less than a year. Together for 5. I built my life around this relationship. I trusted her completely. Now I'm sleeping in the second bedroom on a futon. Our lease doesn't end until May. My entire future feels uncertain. I don't know what hurts more, the betrayal itself, the lies afterward, or the realization that I ignored every warning sign along the way. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how to move forward when the life I thought I had is suddenly gone. Over the past 5 months, my wife was involved with 4 different men. The first was a coworker. It started with texting. Then it became flirtatious messages and photos. Eventually, it turned physical. Around the same time, she met a guy at a concert. They kissed. Later, she met up with him again at different events. What she initially described as just hanging out eventually turned into a physical encounter. That connection eventually fizzled out after an argument, but not before lines had been crossed. Then there was something that happened in mid-December that I can't get out of my head. One evening, I came home from work expecting her to be there. She had gotten off early that day for a company party. But when I walked in, something felt wrong. Her car was in the parking lot. Her coat was inside. Her phone was on the couch. Our pet bunny was running loose in the apartment. She was gone. I panicked. I called her. The phone rang from inside the apartment. I called my mom in a frenzy. I ran around the complex screaming her name. I checked everywhere, even places I never thought I'd have to check, because my mind went straight to the worst possible scenario. By the time she walked through the door an hour and a half later, the police were in our living room, and I was giving them her description. I was in tears. I wrapped my arms around her, shaking, relieved she was alive. What I didn't know was that minutes before that, she had been with a coworker. While I was fearing for her safety, she was betraying me. Then there was New Year's Eve. That night escalated into a private hotel gathering with the musician I mentioned before. What happened there went far beyond what she originally admitted. It involved unprotected intimacy and serious risks. She later took emergency contraception and experienced a pregnancy scare. And even after that night, they continued communicating. Finally, there was an emotional affair with someone she met online. They exchanged messages, flirted heavily, and even discussed meeting up while I was scheduled to be out of town. As far as I know, that meeting never happened, but the intent was there. Up until the day I discovered everything, she was still talking to 3 of the 4 men. I didn't find out all at once. I found messages, emails, conversations. I ended up forwarding them to myself because I couldn't believe what I was reading. She even brought an item belonging to one of them into our home. I also went to the hospital to get tested. Holding that hospital bracelet in my hand was one of the lowest moments of my life. I want to be clear about something. I would never hurt myself. But I understand now what people mean when they say emotional pain can feel unbearable. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I feel weak, exhausted. I miss her and feel sick at the thought of her at the same time. I told her not to even be in the same room as me until she gets tested. I told her that if she ever wants a conversation about reconciliation, she needs to cut contact with everyone involved and take full accountability. But even then, I don't know if there's anything left to save. I feel completely alone. My friends have been supportive, but I question everything now, including whether I'm wanted around or just being tolerated. My confidence is gone. My self-esteem is shattered. I was already feeling neglected in the relationship, and now I can't imagine being vulnerable with anyone, especially not her. The life I thought I had is gone, and I don't know who I am without it. The past 7 months have been a roller coaster. There have been highs and lows, setbacks and breakthroughs. But I can honestly say I'm in a much better place than I was at the beginning. I'm not fully healed. I don't even know what that looks like. But I'm moving forward. I go to therapy 3 times a month. That's been huge for me. Having a professional help me unpack everything has made a difference I can't even fully explain. I also started running and working out consistently. Back in February, I weighed 245 pounds. This morning, I stepped on the scale at 205, 40 pounds down. For the first time since high school, I actually feel confident in my body. I had to buy new clothes because nothing fits anymore. Updating my wardrobe has been strangely therapeutic. When you look better, you carry yourself differently. And when you carry yourself differently, you start believing you deserve better. Socially, my world has expanded. The group of friends I spent New Year's Eve with now gets together every Tuesday for trivia. We've taken beach trips this spring and summer. I practice with my band 3 times a week, and we just released an album online for free. We hang out constantly. Rehearsals turn into late-night talks, and those turn into real friendships. One of my closest friends right now is someone I met online. We text every day and see each other often. If one of us disappears for more than a couple of days, we genuinely miss each other. It's nice to feel valued. In May, I took a trip to Puerto Rico with my mom and my aunt. It wasn't a tourist trip. My mom grew up there, so we visited family and experienced the culture from the inside. Living in a predominantly white suburb, I hadn't fully connected with that side of myself before. That trip changed me. When I came back, I felt calmer. more grounded. For the first time in months, I had a genuinely positive outlook on life. As for my ex, we're moving toward divorce based on irreconcilable differences. In my state, that means 18 months of living separately and maintaining distance. 6 months down. 12 to go. At one point, we talked about maybe reconnecting after time apart. But when we eventually met up to talk, she told me she had given up. She quit therapy. She's now dating someone from her past. And honestly, that's her path. She'll either build a life she's proud of, or she won't. That's no longer my responsibility. I don't wish her harm. I just don't want her in my life anymore, outside of finalizing things legally. After everything happened, I went through a phase where I tried to rebuild my confidence through dating and attention. I read self-help books. I went to parties. I reconnected with old acquaintances. But here's the truth, none of that filled the hole. What I thought I wanted was validation. What I actually wanted was connection. Right now, I am seeing someone. We connect on a deep level, mentally and physically. She lives about an hour away, which is actually healthy for me. It keeps things balanced. I still have my independence. I still have my own routines, my band, my friends, my therapy. But I also have someone who cares about me. Will it last forever? I don't know. And for the first time, I'm okay with not knowing. This year has taught me how to live in the present, responsibly, intentionally, without trying to control every outcome. When I'm with her, I'm happy. And after everything I've been through, that feels like enough.